For those businesses that are hiring, many will start the process with a virtual interview rather than in person. Here this morning with some guidance on how to put your best face forward is our job expert, Erin Sullivan, with Robert Half, a professional staffing company. Welcome, Erin. It's good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Thank you for having me.
So you've really got to be camera ready anymore because you never know when somebody is going to virtually knock on your door and say, we'd like to interview you.
You could have a quick phone call and they can say, are you ready for an interview?
So what's the first thing that you've got to do in order to be camera ready?
I think it's honestly log in, do a practice run and take a screenshot and see what that looks like for you. And also call a friend and have them do the volume and the technology side of things with you. Test everything first.
That's some really good advice, is to do it with a friend because they'll be honest with you.
Fan above my head, I turned that off because someone told me it was distracting. I learned how far away to be from the computer because someone said you are too close to the screen, and only your friends are the ones who are going to be honest with you, or your coworkers.
And so what about the background? I know that, on Zoom you can put a virtual background in there, but they never look really that good.
No, virtual backgrounds can be great if you just unfortunately don't have the right space, but they can be very distracting because as you move, they kind of flutter. If someone walks through the background, you're drinking a cup and all of a sudden that disappears into thin air. Try to just have a natural background that's as professional as possible.
What are some of the backgrounds you don't want? Because you don't want somebody looking at the screen and trying to figure out, okay, what's that over your shoulder, that kind of thing.
Most of us have children at home these days and they can be running through the background. We have animals running through the background. You really just want to find a solid space behind you that maybe doesn't have too much on it. Some might even say, I have a lot of photos in the background. If you can just find a plain wall, maybe put a plant in the corner, that is really all you need.
The weird thing is when you're doing that job interview, you're just kind of looking at the camera. Sometimes the natural inclination is to maybe look over and see how you look. What are some tips on trying to just look at the camera and not get distracted?
I personally like to move where my video is reflecting back at me as close to the camera as possible. That way it kind of curves that distraction a little bit. But it really just comes with practice to realize, you know what, maybe we don't always love the way we look on screen, but it's about how we're portraying ourselves to the person on the other side, not how we think we're looking in that very moment in time.
And what about dress, to make sure that you are dressed appropriately for the interview?
Dress for success at all times. You can ask many people who work from home that the days they feel that they have the most success are when they got up and started the day by dressing how they wanted to perform that day. Never forget that at the end of the day, you will have to be in that office with that person, and you should dress for your interview the way you need to dress when you're in the office, from head to toe.
Great advice. So this seems to be probably the way it's going to be from now on. It really helps employers. They don't have to fly somebody in at great expense, so it makes it easy for them too.
And it makes it more comfortable for employees. I think many of us have been in that situation where we walk into an interview and there's already other people sitting there. This can avoid some of that. You're waiting alone in an interview room until the person who's going to be interviewing you is there. It really is a great way to do first round interviews. And as you mentioned, can be very cost effective as well.
Give me some advice on the person who is being interviewed so that they are grounded, they are centered, and they can put their best face forward.
Be the first one on the call. Get there ahead of time so that the employer's not waiting for you. Do that practice ahead of time with your friend, someone that you currently work with, and dress for success. Have your outfit planned out. Make sure it's ironed. Be prepared and ready. The more you feel ready for that interview, the better your interview is going to be.
And make sure you have good lighting too.
Feel free to ask someone. They'll give you that advice and help prepare you. Your friends want to prepare you for success.
It's all in the details. Erin, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Joe.
And keep it right here. We'll be right back.